Okay. Start over again. No, I'm not gonna. No, we're not starting the show over again. We're just the first part. The first minute of this show is nothing.
You want more music?
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's about how I feel inside my head right now. How about you? More. That's it. That's all you're gonna give us? Yeah, I do. Oh, that is.
Nice?
You know that. That's what's going on in my head. There's a hamster that goes around on a wheel inside my head, and that's the music that keeps him going.
And it harkens back to a simpler time, does it not?
It does. It harkens back to a simpler time before
crazy.
But was there really ever a simpler time before crazy, or was it just hidden?
Oh no, there was a simpler time for me when I could watch the Flintstones.
But it was hidden.
Yeah, well, to a
like
child.
I said, yeah, it was hidden.
To a child.
Oh, you didn't know the crazy when you were a kid? Yeah, no, I didn't. Really, I didn't know the crazy when I was in my 20s. I was a poet.
Oh, don't go into that.
I was a Jerry Brown supporter.
Are you trying to bore everybody again? Jerry Brown? Dude.
I was a Jerry Brown supporter.
My God. What the hell?
I know.
You can actually say that in public?
Yeah, I can, because it's kind of like when you're a drug addict and you overcome, and then you proudly tell people about your life and how you overcame. That's what it's like for me. When I say I was a Jerry Brown supporter, I'm hope for all you people out there that are supporting Bernie Sanders right now. You too. There's still hope for you. You can be redeemed. You can free yourselves from the tyranny that you're embracing.
When I was a kid, I thought I was crazy and the rest of the world was sane. Little did I know it was actually the other way around. It's the people who think they're crazy, who don't fit in, that are actually the sane ones. Because if you fit in, you're crazy. If you can fit into this system, or any state system, and you feel comfortable in it, there's something fundamentally wrong with you.
Yeah. This is how I feel about a lot of people in my life who are still accepting it. And why I voted for Jerry Brown, why I actively...
have to go back to that? Oh my God. Can we get past Jerry
Brown?
Why
I actively participated in his campaign. I'm going to ignore by the way, today's Ignore a Tool Day, so watch. So why I actively participated in Jerry Brown campaign is because it was a preconceived notion that in order to make the world better, you had to do it through government. Jerry Brown was the best government solution for me to make the world better, because it was a preconceived notion, right? Didn't you grow up believing it was, things rise and fall by how well we manage government?
As an immigrant, we kind of grew
up... Oh, no, gosh, this story again.
We're trying to avoid the
government. Oh, my gosh, every single episode.
Trying to avoid the government.
I don't think I mentioned Jerry Brown as much as you mentioned I'm an immigrant.
I think that's like the
that's like time. That's your validation. It's like, listen, man, I'm not white. I'm an immigrant.
We avoided the government.
So you can take me seriously because I'm an immigrant.
We avoided the government. The government wasn't the answer. The government was a potential problem.
So we want to help you wake up. That's why our show is called State of Wake.
Did we even play the intro?
We're going to, about right now. Okay. I'm walking people up to it.
Okay.
So we're going to help you.
Would you like me to start the other music? Again?
No, we're not going to play that other music while we do our awesome introduction.
Okay, well, I won't do it.
I spent years.
Oh, shit, I hit the wrong button. Wait, hold on.
Yes, and you're a potty mouth.
Oh, dude, really?
You're a potty mouth.
That's.
You're a potty mouth.
Okay, wait. Oh, damn it.
Okay, so I went.
Wrong button again.
I went. Okay, everybody. We have crafted this introduction to help prepare you for what's to come.
Stay awake with Dimitri and Paul.
You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
What difference at this point does it make?
It's one of those days when you don't want to wake up.
Basically, taking over
and the government running all of your companies.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
Wake up! Wake up!
We're scared. We're scared of an Obama presidency.
I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as President of the United States.
I have 2 words for you. Predator's lungs. You will never see it coming.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy.
Wake up! Wake up!
We also ask the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. And we need to do this every day of the week and just brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
And when they say, I want my lawyer, you tell them, shut up.
Your time is
Get a lawyer. You're an enemy combatant.
Wake up!
We haven't had a very collective notion of these are our children. So part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
State of Wake with Dimitri and Paul. What's your state of wake?
Now you woke up, I hope. Right?
Oh, I did.
You hit the button again. You fell.
That button.
It's
it's
like
in my way. Is there any way to take this button off?
No, I think you're turning it up right now.
No, I'm trying to turn it down.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. That's working. It's working.
It's working. I got it.
It's working. That's what's going on.
I got it.
That's what's going on inside Bernie Sanders' brain when he speaks. He really doesn't know what he's speaking. That's actually the only thing that's going inside of his brain.
How on earth, in America, do you have an openly socialist candidate who is a wackadoodle running for president and giving Hillary Clinton
and
a run for her money?
And also Bernie Sanders. Oh, you're talking about? I thought you were talking about Donald Trump.
Oh, yes. Well, their political views aren't that different.
They're not really that different. And how that they would get things done? Very authoritarian, very command and control.
Very command and crazy.
Oh yeah, but still control, a crazy control, but a control nonetheless.
I think his supporters should start investing in brown shirts,
but just for a short time.
Yes, a short.
Don't want to hold on to them for too long.
Definitely going to need some of them brown shirts
and have the black shirts ready.
Yes.
At the right moment in time. He's like, what me brown shirt? I don't know what you're talking about, right? Because we all know what happened to the brown shirts, and if you don't, you probably shouldn't be listening to this show. I'm just kidding. You should actually, if you don't know what happened to the brown shirts, you should be listening to this show because you need to be getting some education.
The brown shirts are the guys who got Hitler where he needed to be, and when they were expendable and they had served their purpose, they were all murdered.
It's kind of like the Trumpkins. I'm not saying that Trump will murder the Trumpkins. He won't murder the Trumpkins, but he will do to them what they have been doing to others. He will demonize, vilify, and wash his hands of the group when the time comes. Trust me. So wear your Trump shirts today, and make sure that you have some new Trump shirts tomorrow. So today your Trump shirts, kind of right-leaning themed Trump shirts. You got to have
Take Back America.
Yeah, but
America strong.
You're gonna have to send some left-leaning Trump shirts later on.
Yeah.
Because you really don't know what you're getting with this guy. So we want to go right into our first story. Do we want to go into our first story?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because we could talk about Jerry Brown.
I could take a nap.
Would you like to take a nap? Because I could carry the show by myself
right now.
I could actually carry the show by myself.
You could, but then, you'd put everyone else to sleep too.
No, well, you know what? I think a lot of people probably want to go back to sleep about right now.
Oh man.
Because being awake right now really, really sucks.
Yeah.
Right now, as we speak, the Republican presidential debate is going on.
Oh, I'm so excited. Wait, why are we having these debates? Why do we have an election? We have an electoral college. Why not just divvy up the different, what are they called? Not points, but they're passing out. Yeah, they're passing out their delegates. What's the point of pretending we're a democracy?
Do we want to be a democracy?
We want to be a republic.
But so then that's not a democracy.
Yeah, but why do we pretend to be a democracy? We pretend.
Because it makes people feel like they have the power to stop what they don't like.
But
when they really don't.
Yeah.
It's like why the government has a lotto.
Hope?
It's hope.
Yeah.
Unrealistic hope, but hope. And every once in a while, a nutburger wins the lotto and then is found dead 5 days later. Did you hear that story?
No.
Somebody won, remember that big lotto? It was worth billion, whatever.
My God.
Well, there's like 4 or 5 winners. Well, one of the winners won out. He bought a huge mansion. He partied hard.
Oh.
I shouldn't be laughing. I'm not laughing. I don't laugh at things.
He partied hard?
He partied to the death.
What did he?
He OD'd. I don't know what I can't remember what he OD'd on, but he OD'd. He died.
Who gets his money now?
I don't know. I was thinking that. I was like, well, the government probably gets it back. If the government gets it back, you're like, government killed him. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel, and drugs don't OD people.
Yeah.
It was an inside job.
Yeah, it's called heroin.
No, the government was getting its money back. It was an inside job. Heroin never killed anyone.
Oh.
Jet fuel doesn't melt steel. Stop it. So I guess we'll go to our first story.
Let's do that.
So our first story is about a ruling that was made right here in Pennsylvania, and our show is, we originate out of Pennsylvania. So this is a bit of an embarrassment. This is a U.S. appeals court. I'm just going to read a part of this.
Wait, is Philadelphia really part of Pennsylvania?
Not really, but technically. I mean, it certainly affects the fact that Tom Wolf is the governor of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Philadelphia and Pittsburgh is a big reason why Tom Wolf is the governor of Pennsylvania, even though he does have butt cancer.
Oh, right, I heard.
Am I allowed to say that on radio, even if it's just podcast radio? Butt cancer?
No, you have to say sphincter tumors.
I am speaking into a Yeti microphone, so it's probably okay to do that in a Yeti microphone.
I think the politically correct term is sphincter tumor.
Sphincter tumor.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
He has a sphincter tumor.
Yes.
But he got his sphincter tumor early, I guess. And we're all very happy about that. But at any rate, he was the sphincter tumor that Philadelphia granted us.
Or was it the sphincter tumor that ejected?
Oh, he's not the sphincter tumor. He has.
Philadelphia.
I always get that confused.
No. Philadelphia is a sphincter tumor, and that popped out of the sphincter tumor.
Wow.
Wolf.
You're just. Wow. See, I'm trying to keep it decent, folks.
Oh,
okay?
I'm full of rage. You can't tell in my voice.
Full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice way of putting it.
You know, we're both kind of in that state, aren't we?
Yeah. And
this isn't going to make you feel any better. So
no.
I bring this up for you.
Because the communists are winning. The communists are winning. There should be somebody,
the statists,
running around,
the hardcore statists, and they come in many flavors, including communists.
The communists are winning. The communists are winning.
But it's not the communists; it's the statists, and they come in many flavors. Communists are just one of the flavors.
Yeah.
The appeals court was specifically tasked with finding out whether or not the public has a First Amendment right to photograph and film police without a clear expression of criticism or challenge to police conduct. The court wrote, Fields and Geraki's alleged constitutionally protected conduct consists of observing and photographing or making a record of police activity in a public forum. Neither uttered any word to the effect he or she sought to take pictures to oppose police activity. Their particular behavior is only afforded First Amendment protection if we construe it as expressive conduct. The court ultimately stated, we find no basis to craft a new First Amendment right based solely on observing and recording without expressive conduct. Absent any authority from the Supreme Court or our Court of Appeals, we decline to create a new First Amendment right for citizens to photograph officers when they have no expressive purpose, such as challenging police actions. Eugene Volokh, A professor of law at UCLA disagrees with the decision and says he believes it will eventually be overturned by the Third Circuit Court of Appeals upon appeal. Well, we can count on the magic parchment to come through. Whether one is physically speaking to challenge or criticize the police, or to praise them or to say something else is relevant to whether one is engaged in expression, Volokh wrote in the Washington Post. But it's not relevant to whether one is gathering information, and the First Amendment protects silent gathering of information, at least by recording in public, for possible future publication, as much as it protects loud gathering of information. Whether or not the ruling is overturned, it should serve as a reminder to all free hearts and minds that the cost of liberty is eternal vigilance. We cannot become passive and allow the ruling class and despots in government to subvert our path towards liberation. Now more than ever, we need communities to actively organize cop-watching and politician-watching campaigns that encourage accountability and transparency. We must also remain strong in our sense of morality and principles and not allow what is quote-unquote legal or quote-unquote constitutional to limit us in our fight for freedom.
Yeah. You know, I gotta say, when I see a dude with a camera following a cop around for no good reason...
I'm thinking douchebaggery.
Yeah, big-time douche. It's like, what the hell? Dude, get a...
Yeah.
Freaking like...
Yeah, I'm thinking douchebaggery.
Yeah. But, with that said, you can't limit that activity.
Right.
You're in public. So, this ruling is bullcrap.
Oh, yeah. This ruling is a big old...
And if it doesn't get overturned, there's a problem.
What? Why is there a problem? What makes you think it's not going to get overturned when we have our magic parchment?
Well, it all depends on the interpretation.
Isn't our magic... Wait. Whoa.
8 wise ones.
Are you? Oh, 8 wise ones.
That's only
one of them is lost, right? So, are you saying that the magic parchment in and of itself...
Would you please explain to people what you mean by the magic parchment?
It's the Constitution. It's this idea that this magic piece of paper with these words written on it will somehow right the wrongs and make sure that everybody colors within the lines and honors and respects each other's rights and liberties. And that is why we must uphold the Constitution and be ever vigilant to the Constitution above all else, because the Constitution will protect us.
And to a certain degree, it does.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
It does.
The Constitution does not protect you.
Well, your gun protects you.
Power protects you. Yeah. And power comes in many ways. It's not just the gun. It's economics. It's a lot of things. But yeah, correct. Power is what protects you. The government will not go where it feels, well, I won't say it won't go, but it very rarely will go beyond what it perceives to be its power to go. And that's not the Constitution or the magic parchment that stops it. It's power. And now you're all silent with me.
Yeah,
suddenly.
Because the Constitution is kind of the symbol of the people's power.
Really?
Yeah.
So how'd the people's power work with the internment camps? Overwhelming majority of...
Said symbol, not
So
practical.
it's,
not practical.
I'm looking for practical.
Yeah.
A practical block to government infringing on my liberties. If I was a Japanese American in 1941, I would have found very few allies among the free Americans who worshipped the flag and the Constitution, and yet at the same hand endorsed Japanese Americans being rounded up and put in internment camps because they were Japanese.
Yeah, but people...
See, because power spoke.
Yeah, I agree. But
power spoke.
There's in addition to that, there's something that should be added to that. And it's simply put, if one of those people in the internment camps decided that this was BS, that I'm leaving, and cut a hole in the wire and walked out, he would have been shot. And some may have been. It was more than just an internment camp. This was a prison.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I'm calling it what they call it, but you're absolutely right. This was
a prison.
This was a prison.
They were in prison.
You had people that owned businesses.
They were Japanese.
They lost their businesses.
Oh, they
their
lost
lives
their homes.
were destroyed. They lost their homes.
They lost
their properties.
Farms.
Yeah.
This was being imprisoned because you were of Japanese descent.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you know,
not
we
the
were
America that I know and love.
What America do you know and love? Where was that America? Where did it exist?
Yeah.
There was that. I think there was that summer back in 1789.
No.
There was like 2 weeks.
There was a summer of 1978. When I
Really?
was much younger.
You were probably huffing back then. Still.
No, I wasn't.
Still huffing.
I was in Northern California.
You huffed a lot, and that got you to a state of bliss.
With my cousins, listening to the Bee Gees on the radio.
Oh my gosh, the Bee Gees! Oh,
that was the America I knew and loved. We were running around the lake.
Bell bottoms.
Oh, absolutely, corduroy bell bottoms.
Tube socks, white tube socks. You wear the high white tube socks.
Oh, absolutely.
You remember that?
Station wagon.
Oh yes. Oh, those were the days. And the Vans in the 70s were the best.
We never had Vans in my family.
No, not in the family, just in general. Vans in the 70s, you know, the trippy Vans with the
but that's the America
fur and
that
all
I know
that.
and love.
Van fur. I'm going to call it van fur. The 70s gave us van fur. I think that's all you need to know about the 70s. 70s gave us van fur. But yeah, because you didn't know.
Right.
So your America was based on not knowing what America really was.
Kind of like most immigrants.
Oh my gosh, back to the immigrant thing.
It's true. Immigrants come here for two reasons, opportunity and freedom. 95% come for opportunity, 5% come for freedom, but they all don't realize that it's...
You know what? I'm an immigrant too. I immigrated from my mother's womb to this country.
Wow, you're special.
I immigrated to this country for life. I was like, I want to live. And this country promised me life.
Are we going into that conversation now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, we're not going to go any further than that. We got plenty to talk about here. So the bottom line is the magic parchment did not protect, and it will not protect unless it happens that the next group of gangster thugs in black robes decides, for one reason or another.
Those are some stark terms you're using. Black gangster.
Gangster thugs in black robes. Yeah. Are you? Did you designate a safe space down here before we start talking?
Are you feeling gassy again?
I know he is feeling gassy today, so he actually does have a designated, but the safe space is not for him, it's for me.
Yes.
It's for him to expressively let go of certain elements.
Paul's nose matters.
Yes.
It really
you know, Paul knows matters. Yes. Paul knows matters. That's it. So we have a little time here in this segment here. Let's touch on another story, if you like, or do you want to speak more on this?
How do you not talk about this in more details?
Well, there's plenty to talk about, but for me, the essentials are this case shows quintessentially. I mean, this is basic rights 101, as plain as the nose on your face. Dude, you have a right to film a freaking cop. Even if you're a douchebaggery dude, you have a right to film a cop. Now, if the cop is undercover or you're impeding his work right at that moment, okay, I understand. There's some lines there. But the cop was in this case, the one cop was at he was working security, letting people in and out of some event. And they were filming him. And somehow you don't have a right to film that cop. Somehow you're getting in his way. They didn't even make that case that you're getting in his way. Because there was in both cases, nobody was getting in the way of the cop. It was just about, well, you weren't expressing anything by filming him. What the heck does that mean?
Who's to define that?
Well, no, it doesn't matter. What matters? No, it does matter. What matters is this, is that little magic parchment that these dudes are supposed to be experts on, that they've been appointed to be experts on, didn't help them at all seeing the nose on your face. Oh, this is obvious. Yeah, of course they can record this cop. This is stupid. They found a douchebaggery, weird little weaselly way that you can with language, which you always can do with language. You can always create loopholes with language, no matter what. Your kids probably have proven this to you again and again and again, right? You tell them a simple thing, and they come back, well, I know you told me not to put the towel down.
But you didn't
in
say
the water.
Down
Yeah.
where.
You didn't say down where or when.
Yeah.
You said it then. This is now. There's always a loophole. And that's what this shows. To me, that's the essence of this story. I'm not arguing about the legality of whether they made a sound legal decision or not, because I think that's hogwash. There is no legal argument to be made. The only point is that parchment doesn't protect you. The only thing that protects you is power. These guys, they felt like they can get away with this.
To what ends, though?
To what ends? I don't know. I didn't get to look into this story a little bit. Usually I do a little bit more homework before the show, but I'm really busy right now with...
so this show isn't important to you anymore, is that what you're saying? As exhausted as I was tonight, I said, let's do this. I said it over and over again. I get it. Okay.
I only do this show to give you something to do with your life.
Thank you.
And I think we all know that.
Thank you.
So that I'm here at all is really an act of benevolence. Generosity and benevolence. Wow. But I wonder if these people, to me, and I could be wrong, I'd be willing to bet that this was a conservative ruling. That this was not a liberal ruling.
You mean neocons?
Whatever. They're all one big family to me. I'm the conservative neocon. They're all one family. And I'd be willing to bet that this is the law and order group. Got to protect the cops, thin blue line, man. So, what more do you want to say about this case? Do you want to have a discussion about the legal ramifications,
But seriously, how do you get the douchebaggers to back off? It's like, dude, I'm trying to do my job. Get out of my face. Like, if you were at work and some jackass was following you around with a camera
how often do you think that really happens to cops?
Huh?
How often do you think that happens to cops?
Go online and look it up.
Okay.
Guy following cop with a camera.
Oh, sure.
On YouTube. And
so you're talking about hundreds of millions of beats that are walked every day by cops. How many are being filmed? You happen to get all of the ones that happen on film, but that doesn't mean there's a lot of them proportional. Just because you're seeing a lot of videos. Really.
How do you get the douchers to back off?
I'll tell you how you don't. You don't have a ruling like this. You don't have cops coming out and ripping cameras out of people's hands, because that just fires them up more to get more cameras. That's an idiot response.
I agree with you, but how do you limit the douchers from getting in people's faces and being douchers, even if it is a small amount?
Right? Why would I want them to? Why would I want to limit them?
Because I think it's at some capacity. If I was a cop and I was supposed to do my job, and there's a guy filming my every move, and I know if I misstep or say the wrong thing, I'm going to lose my job.
Maybe the first thing you should do if you're a cop is get some therapy and find out why it is that you have decided to openly embrace serving what you're serving.
I get you, but getting to what cops experience every day, I'd have to say, if I'm a cop in that situation, I'm just going to sit there and wait till the guy goes away. So I can't do my job. And maybe that's your objective. You don't want the cop to serve the state.
Exactly.
Well, and that's why the conservatives ruled.
There you go.
And that's why the conservatives ruled.
Because they want the cops to do their job. Now, maybe these are liberals. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm saying
they're statists for sure.
Either way, they're statists. But this would be traditionally what you would see is the liberals would be like, no, people's rights. You let them do whatever they want. If they want to plant bombs in cops' cars, you let them plant bombs in cops' cars.
It's freedom of expression.
It's freedom of expression. I mean, that's usually how it's traditionally been, and the conservatives been. What do you mean if a cop wants to kick your butt?
If a cop tells you to shut up,
you just do it. You shut up. If you've done nothing wrong, then you have nothing to fear. Stop resisting. Why are you resisting? That's what. But who knows? Maybe it's flipped, because what you really find is they both love government. They just love their government. So the progressives are in power right now. So suddenly they'd be like pro-government.
Right, because they want the cops to protect them.
Right. Yeah. So who knows? But traditionally, this would have been a conservative ruling.
Yeah, but again, how do you get these people to allow these people, the cops, to get to do their jobs? You don't want the cops to do their job.
The only job that I want the cops to do is to stop people from
hurting one
another. That's it. If a cop's job is going out and collecting taxes for the state, I don't want him doing that. If it's to write a person a ticket for speeding, I don't want him to do that. If it's to set up a checkpoint so we can test and see who's drunk or not, I don't want him doing that. I can think of a whole list of things I don't want cops to do. If somebody's about ready to try to murder someone and the cop is there to save someone, I want him to do that.
But what if someone's about to murder someone and someone's filming the cop, so the cop doesn't want to intervene because he's afraid he might do something wrong?
Well, then then the person who prevented the cop from saving the other person from getting murdered, that person should get his. I think society should just show up and kick his butt. Just
mob rule.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, dude, you're going down a slippery slope.
Dude, I know. I'm loving it. I've had a really long day, a really long, hard day. So
you'd like to kill this guy?
No.
Hypothetically,
I'm just physically beaten until he was no longer alive.
Oh,
That is it. That is it.
Okay.
I mean, there's,
Well, you would stop with no longer alive.
I would.
You would stop.
I didn't say that.
Oh.
I just wouldn't call it murder. Okay. I wouldn't say he was beat to death. I would say that he was physically.
Now you're acknowledging that you feel like this guy who's filming cops and not allowing them to do their job.
If their job is to do something like protect somebody from getting murdered, sure. There is a line. I'm not saying, but this is nowhere close to that line.
I agree.
These guys weren't
By
even.
the way, I agree with you. Even the douchers should be out there filming cops if they want to. You just make it unpopular to do that.
Yeah, that's what I say. If you're just going around following a cop with a camera,
I would say get a life.
Yeah, seriously. I mean,
maybe a job that would help.
Film cops in situations where they need to be filmed. When they're pulling somebody over in the middle of the night, and they do they got their dog out, or a body cavity search, or they got their dog out, and their dog suddenly mysteriously says in the dog way that you got drugs in your car. So now because a dog says so. You think about it. We have it in our laws. If a dog says you have drugs in your car, they have a right to tear your car apart. That should be filmed.
Yeah.
Because most of the time that's total douchebaggery. The cops are just looking to get some money. There's a lot of shakedown crap happening. Yeah.
Of course. I'm not going to go there.
We're not going to go there because we're decent human beings. So we're done with this.
Goodbye.
So we're going
to. Can I take my nap now?
You can actually, because you can take about a minute and 30-second nap, because we are going to go, and we're going to, as they say on Freedom Fiends, we're going to go. Yeah, we're going to go and take a trip to the market.
Yay!
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Are you sick and tired of all that liberty? Does the freedom to collect rainwater and use it as you please seem like way too much liberty for you? Have you been burdened with the choice to buy a gun and carry a gun wherever you want? Did your child run a snow removal business in the neighborhood without getting a government license? And that type of freedom sickens you? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then we have a show for you not to listen to. State of Wales. at stateofwake.com is not the show for people who are sick of the burden of freedom and liberty. If you actually love freedom and you're ready to face how much freedom you actually have under Daddy Gov, then State of Wake is the show for you. So, if you hate liberty, stay the bleep away from stateofwake.com. For everyone else, come in, the water's warm.
And we're back. Are you sick of freedom too?
Absolutely.
Sick of it. It's a burden.
You know what I need to do? I need to give the government all my money. Not just some, all of it. Because I'm sick of freedom.
I know.
Somebody else should make the
Have you ever heard that
decisions
Devo song?
Which one?
I think it's called Freedom of Choice.
How's it go?
Oh, good. You invited me to sing.
What did I do?
In ancient Rome, there was a poem about a dog who had two bones. He licked the one, he licked the other. He went in circles, he dropped dead. Freedom of choice is what we want. Our freedom from choice is what we want. Freedom of choice is what we've got.
That's really a song?
Yeah.
Wow.
You get the poem. I mean, the poem's freaking brilliant.
Is it really?
There was a dog who had two bones. He licked the one. He licked the other. He went in circles. He dropped dead. See, the freedom of choice killed him.
Oh. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that's why I'm sick of freedom.
Not the freedom song. The poem.
No, the poem does not suck, and I didn't write it.
Yeah, well...
you can blame Devo, Mark Mothersbaugh. Mark Mothersbaugh, who has a long, historic career as a fine movie soundtrack writer, dude.
Fine. He wrote that, and he's fine.
He's a fine music songwriter.
Fine.
Soundtrack person thingy.
That sucked.
I think he wrote the theme to The Simpsons.
That sucked.
Maybe not. Dude, that is racist. You're making fun of white people. It's okay. And you're an immigrant making fun of white people, so it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Listen, it's okay if I make fun of you. It's okay.
No, it is. But I can't make fun of you because you're an immigrant.
No, because I'm almost white. You can't make fun of me because I'm almost white. That just stumped him. He can't say anything.
I can't. God. No, I'm shut down by the almost white. I can't respond to this. No, I don't want to.
What are we talking about?
We're actually into the world section.
Oh wow.
We started off with the
That's
national.
my favorite part.
I know. And this is by Forbes.
Forbes published this crap.
No, don't give it. Don't give it away.
Oh,
Now it is an opinion piece. And it's called.
I'll just start reading before my head explodes.
First of all, the title is what the heck is the title? Oh, Putin's newest satellite state. Now, listen. Before you talk smack about this guy, let me ask you: do you have a degree in foreign affairs? Have you ever worked in an administration in a foreign affairs capacity? Then shut your pie hole, son. Just shut it. This is a serious man. His name is Adam Arelli. Mr. Arelli is the vice chairman of Mercury, a public affairs and strategy firm whose clients include the Turkish Institute for Progress.
Oh, for progress.
Yeah. And apparently he's also a tool. I mean,
So, can you just read it without,
No, I cannot just read it, because if I do just read it without adding interjection, blood will shoot out of my eyes. So I think that the 2 days before Christmas, as American policy... Wait, what kind of voice should we use for this guy?
Gay.
2 days before Christmas, as American policymakers were settling into the holidays, Russia quietly signed a sweeping air defense agreement with Armenia.
No. I didn't mean gay like that. Dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dude. First I get challenged by an almost white, and now I get set up, man.
There's something wrong.
I know. How dare I attempt to say? Wait. What's wrong with sounding gay?
Stop.
I don't get it. What's wrong with sounding gay? Is there something bad about sounding gay? I mean, no. What is wrong with sounding like you're homosexual? I don't get it. Are you saying there's something wrong with being homosexual? Are you saying there's something wrong with being homosexual? No, it's not a specific voice, but it is one of voices. There are many voices. I could actually be, this could be a homosexual voice right here. But see, I know your tiny little mind, and when you say gay, I know what you're thinking. So I am just reflecting your myopic, atavistic attitude. See? Yeah, it is.
But he raises his voice.
So 2 days before Christmas, as American policymakers were settling into the holidays, Russia quietly signed a sweeping air defense agreement with Armenia, accelerating a growing Russian military buildup that has unfolded largely under the radar. It was the most tangible sign yet that Putin is creating a new satellite state on NATO's border. And threatening an indispensable U.S. ally. The buildup in Armenia has been glossed over in Washington, despite being a key piece of Vladimir Putin's plan to dominate the region. Now, we weren't dominating the region. That was different.
Insular isn't dominating.
No, that was different.
Region.
That was different.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When we have military bases in other countries, we're spreading freedom.
Democracy. Yes.
But when Putin...
Just like the democracy that exists in Turkey.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
And he has... I mean, he's got like some impressive stuff that he's got in there. And he's got, 8,500 troops, 900 ground artillery pieces, 200 warplanes, and 50 warships. Dude, that is hard.
Wait. No, wait. You got to stop right there. 50 warships. Armenia is landlocked.
No.
Armenia is landlocked.
He's talking about the whole regional operation.
Okay.
No, he hasn't totally. He hasn't. I mean, calling Turkey an indispensable ally, that was one level of foolishness. But remember, he's the expert, and he does have the strategic alliance with.
Did he get paid for this?
This is just basically content marketing. That's all this is.
Yeah.
For Turkey.
Turkey said, we need article about Armenia, Russia. They make good friends, you know?
Yes. We're the superiors!
Yes.
That Turks always end every sentence with that. Well, at least not the Turkish people, the Turkish leaders.
Well, one in particular.
Erdogan.
Yeah.
The growing Russian military presence in Armenia is but the latest indicator of a worrisome trend, Putin's threat to NATO and America's interest in Europe. The Armenian-Russian alliance is gaining strength. Armenia currently hosts, brace yourself.
Embracing.
An estimated 5,000 Russian military personnel and 2 Russian bases. In 2010, both countries signed an agreement that extended Russia's basing rights in Armenia by 24 years. That means
it pre-existed.
That Armenia is a satellite state.
But wait, it extended it, which means these bases were pre-existing.
Yeah, but that means that Armenia is a satellite state. Now, that means that Japan
is a satellite. Hey, wait, Greece.
No, that's different.
It is different.
That's different because it's American. Different. Freedom.
On the island of Crete in Greece.
Satellite state. No, I'm sorry. No, they're American troops. Well, they're right.
Yeah,
right.
Democracy.
It's totally different, right? I mean, it's absolutely totally different.
Indispensable ally. Yeah. I think NATO recently came out and said, "Hey, Turkey, you're picking a fight with Russia. You're on your own." That's how indispensable they are. And honestly, the villains here seem to be the Saudis and the Turks.
I am saying, in a world, hold on.
Do I need to play my music?
Hold
on. I need to play my music?
Hold on. I'm going to play something. I'm just going to play this for you because you mentioned this.
Who dat?
This is Next News Now.
Allies have signaled to Ankara that if Turkey provokes a military conflict with Russia, they will not receive the assistance of the alliance.
Oh my God, Europe finally woke up.
Yeah, they did. I don't think they woke up like, oh, we have to go with the right cause. I think they went with, oh man, I don't want to pay the price for Turkey's idiocy. Yeah.
About freaking
in a unique way.
Yeah.
Now you think about it, we just talked about the magic parchment not protecting you. Treaties don't protect you because they're just words.
Well,
they'll find a loophole. Well, yeah, I know that we said we'd defend you if you were.
Turkey right now is dispensable.
Oh, it's totally dispensable.
And they don't realize
they are in World War One. They were the what did they call them?
The Young Turks.
The sick old man. They called him the sick old man.
The sick man of Europe.
Yeah, the sick man of Europe. And he was, they were an albatross about Europe's neck because they kept having to rescue Turkey. And guess what?
Well, the
Things
world
haven't
powers,
changed.
Yeah, the world powers had to go in and save Turkey. Hell, the Greeks, the Armenians, and a bunch of ragtag Arabs and Kurds and Slavs were taking on the Ottoman Empire and piecing it up. And that was a natural...
Right.
Extension of what was going on.
They were finishing them off in that.
Right, and then the world powers intervened and stopped it all because they would prefer to deal with a empire than they would free people.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. They would be freer. How's that?
Oh, the lesser of two evils.
Is the better course, usually, yeah.
Yeah, the lesser of two evils.
It's usually the better course, yes.
I mean, I have to confess, I would rather grow up in 1950s America than in Nazi Germany.
If you were white.
Unless, of course, I was black and lived in Georgia, you know. Yeah. Then it was like, no, I don't see the difference at all.
Or if you were Japanese living in...
Or, right, Japanese, yeah, if I was Japanese American living in 1930s, late 1930s, early 40s.
Even in the 50s, your family's not trying to recover from having lost everything. How do you recover from having lost everything to a free country?
What do you mean?
You've been released from an internment camp.
Oh, you mean Japanese Americans when they're released?
How do you come out in the 50s from the...
Like, hey man, we're gonna let you out. Here's your American flag. Wave it. And you know what? Many of them did. They went out and they waved their American flag afterwards.
What they'd say, I'm pissed off at America. You're an anti-American. You might as well go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
You don't like it here?
Didn't you have an experience recently? Come on. Oh. You don't have to mention names. You can be veiled.
You
had an experience. I was not part of this, by the way.
A wonderful open discussion where I was illuminating.
And by the way, it's not a coincidence that he happened to mention that he was an immigrant. Yeah. I'm just putting it out there. You just think about that.
And we were having a very enlightened conversation. And finally, the folks on the other side of the conversation started to get all neocon on me. And we're like, yeah, but people in the prisons, man, they should work for a living like the rest of us. I'm like, which ones that are in prison should work for a living? The ones that are in there for 5 years for smoking weed? How are they harming anyone? What law did they really break? They were smoking weed, doing no harm to no one. The law is there to protect us from people who are out to hurt us. So these people are in prison for no real good reason, and now you want to put them to work against their will. That's called slavery. When you capture people against their will for a stupid reason and you put them to work on your behalf, that's slavery. And that kind of hit a nerve. And they're like, well, if you don't like it here, why are you even here? Why don't you just go back to where you came from?
Back to where you came from.
And I was like, what?
So what now?
Yeah.
How many months do you have to work before you've paid your taxes?
I don't even know anymore. Is it 3 or 4?
I don't know how many months it is, but there's like there's a substantive period of time, whether it's 3 months or 6 months, whatever it is, where you are basically a slave. You are working.
Yeah, I think it's about 3 months. So 3 months a slave.
3 months a slave. You know what? That should be a movie. 3 months a slave.
Oh my God.
That's 3 months
the
a slave.
title
I know
sounds
it
it
rings.
It does.
It just
3
sounds
months
like
a
it should
slave.
be,
3
doesn't
months
it?
of slave.
3 months a slave.
Yeah.
3 months a slave.
3 months of slave.
No, 3 months a slave.
Oh, a slave, not of
No,
slave?
no. 3 months a slave. I mean, it's 3 months a slave. I was 3 months a slave.
Yeah, no, but there's something else.
It just rings. It's like they should make a movie called 3 Months a Slave.
The United Slaves of America.
Dude, I love it.
It rings.
When you say it like that, it makes it I feel better about
I do too, because we're united.
it. Yes.
We're united.
We're working for a common cause
We
against
are.
our will.
United Slaves of America.
We're working for a common cause against our will. Right. I
That's
think
a T-shirt. The United Slaves of America, 3 months a slave.
But this article, which you and I had discussed before, this article actually demonstrates the way that, and don't get me wrong, I think that, I bet you Russian jingoists are looking at the world through Russian eyes, and Russia can do no wrong, and for the same things that we do that Russia does, they'll look at us and say we're evil. But this article is pretty transparent in holding Russia to account and calling it evil is what we're doing. We're doing what Russia's doing.
But wait.
It's just that right now, Russia
worse
happens to
than
be doing better than us at it.
Yeah, but it's even worse than that, because the Turks are facilitating ISIS. They created
Oh,
ISIS.
right.
They
Oh,
facilitate
yes.
ISIS.
He has to take the side of, and I'm not using this pejoratively. He is taking the side of a Nazi Muslim regime.
At the end of the article,
It's Nazi, I should say Nazi Muslim Turkish regime.
Yeah, the author states how the Russians are fighting the Turks who are fighting ISIS. When the Turks created ISIS,
right,
facilitated ISIS, and are bombing the Kurds on behalf of
attack ISIS. Yes. Yeah. Well, no. They bomb the Kurds to attack ISIS.
Yeah, well,
because they're showing ISIS. Look at what we're doing to your enemies. That's what they're doing. They're bombing ISIS's enemies so that ISIS will realize how serious they are.
Well, sometimes to kill a cancer, you have to poison the patient.
Sometimes you have to kill the cells that are killing the cancer before you kill the cancer.
Yes.
I think that's good science. I think it's a good way to do it.
I can guarantee that I could put an end to your cancer by killing you.
Yeah. That cancer's going to die.
It's gone. It's gone.
Cancer's gone. Gonzos.
In a couple of hours, it'll be over.
It'll be gonzos. It's not going to multiply anymore. It's going to be gonzos.
That's Turkish logic. And that's the logic of a stupid
And of course, we're being facetious because Turkish logic is not. It is just, we love ISIS, we hate the Kurds.
Yes, their logic is illogical.
Well, ISIS destabilizes, and it creates a vacuum that Turkey wants to step into.
Correct. Well, Turkey's ambition is to take northern Syria for itself.
Mm-hmm.
After World War II, when everyone was pretty much exhausted from the war, Turkey actually attacked Syria and took a substantial chunk of it. And the world said, dude, whatever. And no one remembers that. The Syrians still consider that territory theirs. And now the Turks are like, you know what? There's a little more we could take. And that's typical Turkish foreign policy. They took a little bit of Cyprus. They're trying to take some of the Greek Isles. They're going to get a piece of Armenia. They're going to get a piece of this. And they expand. And if they're not expanding, they're dead.
See, the thing is, when I say that the Turks are, and when I'm referring to the Turks, I'm referring to the Erdogan regime. The Turks are Nazi Muslim Turks. I mean this in a very deliberate manner. These folks have studied the Nazis. They love the Nazis.
Erdogan said a few months ago that Hitler was a great ruler.
Right.
In terms of organization. He did great things for Germany.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, you don't hold him up in public.
Well, you do when you're Erdogan, because Turkey is modeling itself after the Nazis in a very real, deliberative manner. Even
but when you say Nazi, you don't mean like Nazi Germany. You mean in the pure definition of the word Nazi.
Yeah, they're studying them at a theological, whatever, theoretical,
intellectual level.
Yeah, I mean they're Weltanschauung or whatever it's called, where No, Lebensraum, the room to grow stuff. They actually believe that they need to create a land where the Turks can comfortably live and thrive, and that the Turks are the superior race. They have a connection to the Aryan strain, and they consider themselves allied with the German Aryans. I mean, this isn't like, I'm not saying you're evil, therefore you're Hitler. No, Erdogan is modeling himself after the Nazis, except instead of the Nazis had a weird Christian pagan Hitlerian mythology, and theirs is they were using Islam as their religion, a very twisted version of Islam, and instead of the German Aryan white blondes, it's the Turks who are the superior race, and they actually believe that they need to create this room to live, which means northern Syria, which means
today. Back in the 60s and 70s, it was Cyprus.
Oh, it's all that too. But right now, this is the first step. Right. He is trying to do what Hitler was trying to do. This is our indispensable ally that this guy in Forbes is representing. Now, this guy is supposed to be like a smart dude with like all foreign policy stuff.
Tool.
Paid tool.
He's a paid.
This is nothing but content marketing, and it's in Forbes magazine. And shame on Forbes. I actually know a couple of people that write for Forbes, and they're awesome people, and they write great stuff. And this is not one of them. Not one of them at all.
No, it's sad because the Russians are actually defending Christians and are trying to keep the country of Syria together, and they're actually helping the Kurds fight off ISIS. And what are we doing?
We're defending our indispensable ally.
Yes. But NATO.
But even we have our limits.
Yeah, because NATO's backing out now. They're like, dude, you're provoking a fight with Russia, and it's your fault. So why would we come to your aid?
I don't think NATO could afford a war with Russia right now. I mean, even just economically, they couldn't afford it. Now, Dimitri and I, we did have a conversation in which we did some very careful and very deliberative geopolitical and military analysis. And I was of an opinion that if there was a war, like an all-out war between Europe and Russia,
non-nuclear
war between Russia and Europe, that Russia, it may end up taking Europe after 6 months or a year. It could theoretically do it because Europe has such weak sauce in it right now, and it's got a bunch of, I think, housewives as defense ministers now. It's not that they're women; it's that they're housewives. Okay. They're not,
but they're cute housewives, dude. They're milfy.
Oh, they're
milfy.
I'm going to be respectful of women, and I'm just going to say that they're hot.
Oh,
okay.
Hot housewives.
Hot housewives. Again, it's not that they're women; it's that they're soft women. It would be like if it was like a bunch of metrosexual men that were.
Well, that's the rest of Europe. That's the rest of Europe.
So Europe is pretty soft, and Russia's like, Russia. What you did? You told me about Russia sends its young boys off to
as early as 12.
They go off to military school, military training
camps,
hardcore military camps. While in Europe, they're teaching their
children. 12.
In Europe, they're teaching their children to be afraid of guns. Guns are bad, and not say anything offensive to anyone. So that's what's going on in Europe. And I predicted 6 months to a year, although maybe Russia would run out of resources at some point. It would be really exhausting. But head to head, I think Russia could probably take them. But Dimitri, he steered me right. He did a much more careful and deliberative analysis. I think he and this guy went to school together. Didn't you? And he said that Russia would conquer Europe in 3 weeks,
2.5,
and then he clarified it later to 2.5 weeks. After 2.5 weeks of bloody fighting, Russia would.
There would be no
Europe.
bloody fighting, dude. There would be no bloody fighting.
So it'd be like one battle in Europe.
The Europeans
would be
like, wait, what are you doing? Stop
it!
I told you we have NATO.
We have NATO.
Stop!
Don't do that.
Are you trying to start a fight?
Wait. We don't want to offend you.
Wait, what?
Are we offending you? We don't mean to.
Yeah, and that would be it.
Open borders, free immigration. Yeah. We'll pay for your soldiers to come in. we'll give them welfare.
Take our daughters.
We'll give your soldiers welfare. That'd be Europe. Yeah.
Europe has turned so soft, and so self-centered. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's the Eastern European countries that have come into Europe that stand a chance of holding the Russians back. Poland, Ukraine, not your.
Poland is like Poland's hardcore.
Yeah, the Germans have gotten so soft. The Finns, oh my God, I know a few Finns who are men, truly men. But as soon as you go, but as soon as you go to Helsinki, they're like, well, the America kind of won the culture wars, and I'm like, dude, you do realize you're part of Western civilization. You're part of that whole culture, right? Well, yeah, but
we're offending you.
But you meet the people in the countryside, and they're solid people. Solid.
Don't you have like Finnish blood in you or some crap?
Why would you embarrass me like that?
You do, don't you?
It's not Finnish,
like some
it's Swedish.
Same thing. That's
it's
all.
Not. Whoa.
Yeah, same thing.
You might have.
Same thing.
Calling a Finn.
You're like Turkish and Finnish blood, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Calling a Finn a Swede is almost as bad as calling a Finn
He's like half
Russian.
Turk. He's half Turk and half Finn. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
It. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole side of our family that's Swedish. They settled in Greece on behest of the Pope to convert us to Catholicism. It didn't work out so good. But yeah, there's that whole side of the family that's Swedish.
What are you saying? You're Greek?
Yeah, pretty much.
What the heck?
With a name like Dimitri?
I don't know. Dimitri is just an American name. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it could be Russian too. Most Americans think it's Russian, but it's not. Anyway, side note. 2.5 weeks. The Russians.
Side note: be proud of your Finnish and Turkish heritage.
Yes,
that's all that matters.
The Russians, I think, 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 of a week.
That's an educated guess.
Yes, of course.
After much theoretical.
Because you have men on one side and girly men on the other side, and
Well, we have American.
Well, then America would have to go bail Europe out.
I don't know. America doesn't
but
have the men.
This is the thing.
America doesn't have the men either.
But think about Russia. How many times has Russia actually
invaded
Western Europe?
Well, think about. Wait, hold on. This is more important.
Okay.
The whole man thing.
Oh dear.
I think that percentage-wise, America probably has more men left than Europe does. But of the men that are left in in America, how many would really want to go over and rescue Europe? Who the heck wants to rescue Europe anymore?
Well, when the news channels start flying the flags and it's America's destiny to save the world.
They're going to march under Obama? No, they're going to march under Donnie.
Oh.
Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko?
Donnie Darko.
I like to call him the Teflon Don because he seems to...
Oh, he truly is the Teflon Don.
Yeah.
Like more than the original Teflon Don was because he kind of died in prison. So.
Of butt cancer?
Something.
I think it was butt cancer.
Whatever it was, he ran out of Teflon.
Yeah.
But so far, Mr. Trumpio, he does not... he doesn't seem to have a problem in that department.
How many times has Russia invaded Western Europe? Bah! It hasn't. The Swedes invaded Russia, and the Russians hadn't in their ass.
Russians invaded the Finns.
Well, they're not really Western Europe.
Oh, okay, because you're Swedish and you hate the Finns.
I don't hate the Finns.
Yeah, you do. Just like you hate the Turks. Oh, wait. That makes sense.
Honestly, I don't hate anyone.
You don't?
Nope. I hate 3 things. Evil, Satan, and injustice.
What about the Dallas Cowboys? Come on.
I don't watch sports.
I'm actually, I'm trying to give it up.
Yeah.
I'm giving up for my sanity.
I gave up coffee.
Did you?
I did.
You seriously gave up coffee? When did you do this?
2 weeks ago.
Seriously, why did you do
My head's
that?
still going to explode.
Why did you give up coffee?
Headaches. Getting too many headaches.
I don't think it's the coffee.
Headaches are gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Coffee helps me. Caffeine helps my migraines.
It used to. Oh, when I would get migraines, I would drink coffee. But now I don't get migraines. I just drink decaf all day.
Why bother? Seriously, like
because I like the flavor of black coffee.
Near beer, but decaf doesn't have that flavor.
Oh, this does.
Oh,
I've got I have a really good decaf.
I don't agree with you at all.
You don't have to agree with me.
I'm not even going to taste it. I'm not even going to try it because I know better. Okay, listen.
You're
anything that
again.
this guy says,
I'm telling you, you're wrong.
Anything that this guy says, just remember, and I quote, Russia will take Europe, in 3 weeks,
Two
maybe
and a
2.5, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks tops.
Yeah.
That's
and
this
they
man's
and they probably won't have to
analysis.
shoot their guns. They'll probably just walk over and say, "We men," and the girls would
Well,
be like,
Russia.
and the girls would be
Like,
like,
have
"Oh
our
my
babies.
God,
We want to have your babies."
our men can't even get it
Yeah.
up."
Well,
The
we
guys
just,
in the countryside can. It's the guys in the cities that are just wussified.
and it's
So
just a higher percentage of city folks now. So.
It is. They've been so emasculated over the years. It's crazy. And it's sad. But again, how many times has Russia invaded Western Europe? How many times has Western Europe invaded Russia? Oopsie.
Ivan the Terrible, didn't he invade some Eastern European stuff? And wait, with Russia after World War II, Russia.
Did Russia invade England? We're talking Western Europe.
Oh,
Spain.
Okay, so I guess if they invaded other places, that's cool.
No, they tend to invade.
They built an
their
empire.
sphere of influence.
They built an empire.
They most certainly did, just like Western Europe has, and the United States.
That's different.
Yes, of course it's different.
That's different. You know why it's different?
Crimean War.
Because we use the alphabet.
Crimean War.
We're different.
Crimean
Our
War.
letters make sense.
Crimean War.
Our letters make sense.
Crimean
Their letters
War.
are like weird Cyrillic crap.
Crimean
I don't know what that is. Why did they have to have letters like that?
Crimean War.
Seriously.
Because their
Why
letters,
couldn't they just have American letters?
Their letters.
Like easy to understand American letters.
Their letters come from the same place that Latin letters come from, which is from the Greek.
But that's, I know, that's why, I mean, that's all funky.
Crimean War.
I mean, all that stuff is funky. American letters make way more sense.
Crimean War.
Oh my gosh, shut up about the Crimean War.
I mean, the Western Europe invaded Russia. Russia has more to be paranoid about.
And Napoleon.
Yeah, and Napoleon. Hitler. I'm telling you, in the 20th
They got some invasions, yes.
Well, in the near past, Russia has been invaded by Western Europe more than Western Europe has been invaded by Russia. In serious ways.
I'm being facetious.
I know you
are.
I know you are.
Right.
So to say that, Armenia wouldn't exist without Russia's backing, because the Turks would have rolled over them.
And they would have done
Massacred.
Armenia too,
Yeah.
right?
So the Russians are protecting the Armenians just like they're protecting the Syrians. And they are protecting Syrian Christians. Don't kid yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. And when I look at the Middle East today, I mean, of course, I'm not advocating for any state whatsoever, but from a purely pragmatic perspective, if I was just picking the lesser of two evils, the United States or Russia, as an influence
today,
right
under
now,
the Obama administration,
I'm going to pick Russia as the lesser of two evils to be the dominant force in the Middle East.
Let's emphasize that Russia is evil.
They're all evil,
but they're a little less evil.
They're a little less evil. Actually, I'd say a lot less evil right now. I mean, not that they're not killing civilians over there; they are.
But quantify that.
Well, the United States of America has knowingly, I believe, knowingly enabled a ruthless gang of psychopaths who are murdering everyone in their sight, murdering, raping, pillaging, plundering, destroying artifacts from thousands of years ago for its own political end. And Russia...
You're talking about the Turks, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm talking about the United States and the Turks.
No, America's facilitating...
America's part of that.
I was making a joke that instead of ISIS, America's supplying the Turks, because the Turks are actually behind it.
America is supplying ISIS. Turks are supplying ISIS. ISIS is our baby. ISIS is Turkey's baby. That's the side that, quote unquote, we're on right now. Now, that is an evil side.
And we're trying to change, because now the United States has agreed with Russia that Assad gets to stay.
Well,
and
yeah.
The Turks are
yes,
livid.
this is how they've agreed.
He gets to stay.
He gets to stay. You know what? We found it in our hearts. Yes. Oh, Aleppo. Aleppo's about to fall. Oh, he gets to stay. No, the Turks are boned.
Well, the Russians boned them, and the Russians feel really good about
What's Putin's popularity in Russia right now?
97%.
What would happen to you if you were Russian and you walked out and said Putin's an idiot? I think that you would get jumped. Russians would jump you. They would slide you right where you stood. They would slide you.
Yeah. The Russians have a long way to go in terms of developing their country. They really do. But at the moment, they're stopping.
They're the good guys
evil.
here.
Yeah.
They're the good guys.
And
here.
the Turks, once again, have shown who they really are: evil, maniacal bastards. Oh, let me quantify that by saying just their leadership. Well, there's a culture. I'm going to go back and say there's a culture there.
I usually try to avoid speaking in generalities about people groups.
There are lots of good people living in Turkey.
Including Americans.
Lots of good people living in Turkey. But there's a psychosis to that country. There's an insecurity about their identity. Because when they look at each other's faces, they see everything but Turks.
What is Turk? What does a Turk look like? At least in Germany, you have the blue-eyed, blonde hair. They don't have that. What is that classic Turkish look?
A classic Turkish look? No. Ataturk was European. The classic Turkish appearance is Asiatic, Mongolian, Chinese.
Well, you never see that look.
You do. Oh, there's still people in Turkey that look like that. But
I mean, you never see that. I mean, Erdogan doesn't look like that.
No, he doesn't. But there are people in Turkey who still, there's about 5% of the population in Turkey who look ethnically Asiatics. Everyone else is a mix of Armenian, Kurd, Persian, Arab, Greek, Assyrian, Slav, Slav.
Slav and Slav.
Yeah.
All the variations of Slav.
Yes. So there's Georgians mixed up and Chechens mixed up in that. So it's a variety of groups of people that came under the control of the Ottoman Empire that were forced to integrate. And that's what you have right now, an amalgam. When you look at the genetic makeup of Western Turkey, they're very, very similar to Greeks. And the Greeks that are genetically Greek. And when you look at the Turks in Eastern Europe, they're mostly closely related to Armenians, Persians, Kurds, and Arabs. So they have a huge insecurity about their identity. So they have to prove to themselves that they're Turkish all the time. They have to prove to their compatriots that, yeah, I'm Turkish. No. Yeah, no, we're Turkish too. Yeah. Look how Turkish we are. We can defend our motherland. We'll murder anyone who questions who and what we are. That's what ends up happening. There's a national psychosis.
So, on that note, how can we end this show
in a positive light?
In a positive light.
Wow. I'll tell you exactly how to end the show in a positive light. Russia is winning in Syria. Yay!
Is that positive? I mean, it's positive certainly for the Christians there.
Hell yeah. And for decent Muslims who live there and who didn't start shooting up people. Because although their Arab Spring starts off noble, it's infiltrated by outsiders early on.
I know how to end it in a good light.
I can't end it in a good light.
You're such a killer.
I am. Like I said.
Federal government. We always think of those guys as all-powerful, all-knowing, unstoppable.
So we're going in a different direction. Okay, I'm all ears.
Well, we're done with this. We're trying to wrap the show up in a positive light, and I have the positive light. The all-powerful, all-knowing, invincible, unstoppable federal government cannot break into an iPhone. Needs to try to bully Apple to break into an iPhone. Technology is confounding the all-powerful. And it's just going to get worse for them.
Did I send you a link to something called Cell 411?
Yes, I know all about Cell 411.
Where you call your friends for help? You don't call
and I believe, you know what we forgot to mention?
What
This
now?
is a bipcot.org covered show.
Okay, you just mentioned it. Great. Yay. Let's move on.
Well, it's relevant because Self 411 has announced that they're a bipcot.org thing.
That's
So
wonderful.
bipcot.org means you can use the show however you want, unless you're with the government. For more information, or this is where Bipcot no-gov license, go to bipcot.org. Can't believe I didn't say that until now, but there you go. Anyway, go ahead with your Self 411, which is awesome.
So you download this app, and when you get into trouble, you punch the app, and it sends a message to your friends like, hey, I'm over here. This is my GPS coordinates, and I need this kind of help.
And your friends come to your rescue instead of cops. Because when friends come to your rescue and they see your dog,
they're not going to
shoot it.
And your friends?
They're not going to shoot you.
They know who you are.
Yeah, they won't kill you.
They might shoot you accidentally.
Oh.
But they're not going to shoot you accidentally thinking you're the perp.
Or accidentally because they're coming in guns blazing and not paying attention to
And
what
at the
heck
wrong
they're
house.
doing.
Or maybe they won't shoot your neighbor because they're not going to the neighbor's house.
They arrive at the wrong house. Dude. They're probably not going to do that because they know where you live. They're like, oh, dude, this is the dude's house.
When you say, I'm in the kitchen, your friends know where your kitchen is.
Yeah. Well, you know where my kitchen
is. Yeah.
I know where your kitchen is.
So if you come guns a-blazing and I'm under the table in the kitchen, you know where that is.
Yeah.
The cops don't.
And when I shoot, I'll aim right under the table.
Oh, dude, today you'd be doing me a favor.
I know. I feel the same way. Seriously. Some people say, Calgon, take me away. I say 9 mil, take me away. I'm just kidding.
I thought you were speaking German. 9.
9.
So the positive light is, for sure, that
technology is confounding the government, the state, that it's ahead of the state. And it's just getting further and further ahead. And things like Self 411 and the web networks, the mesh networks that are forming, which are peer-to-peer internet networking that's beginning to emerge. So there is hope.
3D printing.
3D printing, ghost guns. Big fan of ghost guns. Cody Wilson's the man. He printed a 3D receiver and then promptly sent out the blueprints for it across the interwebs. Yeah, but not before he sent it out to millions of people that have it. They can't stop it. Everybody has it. They have the information. They shut down his website, so he can't do it anymore. But it's out. I mean, that's the ultimate expression of liberty to me.
And what will Donald Trump do to all of that?
Donald Trump cannot stop.
He wanted
the
Donald
tide
Trump
of technology.
Stop the internet.
Oh, Donald Trump is also, you so-called conservatives that wave your flags and you talk about your liberty and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You're selecting Donald Trump to represent your party. And this is a man who said that Apple was wrong and that Apple needs to give the federal government that back door into everybody's iPhone. Yeah, that's your guy. That's your guy, Donald Trump. You're not voting for liberty. You're voting for your goon to do your bidding. That's all he is. He's your personal goon. They're voting for their monster. You know what? You guys have had your monster long enough. We want our own monster. Except this monster might be like Frankenstein. Eventually. Well, actually, the name of the monster was not Frankenstein, but whatever. I'm just going to go with it because that's what the common man thinks.
Okay, I thought you were ending this on a positive note.
We are ending it with the positive note that we're ending it on is not even Donald J. Trump can stop technology. Okay? And so I'm going to sign us out. Are you ready to be signed out?
I am. It was a wonderful show.
It was a wonderful, wonderful show. It's a wonderful show.
We covered some interesting topics.
Very interesting topics.
And we played some interesting music.
Yes, we did. And
don't forget, 1978.
And
the Bee Gees.
Vanfer. And Vanfer.
Who dat?
Vanfer. So next week, hopefully we'll be back. Next week, you never know. We might actually be back, and we'll be talking about stuff next week. Because that's what we do. When we're back, we talk about things. So on that note, we bid you good night, and we'll leave you with how we begin.
More music?
Stay awake with Dimitri and Paul.
You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
What difference at this point does it make?
Basically, taking over and the government running all of your companies.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
Wake up! Wake up!
We're scared. We're scared of an Obama presidency.
I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as President of the United States.
I have 2 words for you. Predator's lungs. You will never see it coming.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy.
Wake up! Wake up!
We also ask the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. And we need to do this every day of the week and just brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
And when they say, I want my lawyer, you tell them, shut up.
Your time
Don't
is
get a
expired.
lawyer. You're an enemy combatant.
Wake up!
We haven't had a very collective notion of these are our children. So part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
Stay awake with Dimitri and Paul. What's your state of wake?